What's up, everybody? This is Robbie, and you are watching Geek Level Asian. I know that I'm pretty late on this, but I never did my review of issue 30 of Shattered Grid. So here it is. And I do apologize about the wait, but I was very preoccupied, obviously, with Power Morphicon. I kind of forgot to do this, but we're doing it now. So issue 29, we saw Commander Kruger, and we saw Zordon. They went to Rita for help. That is where issue 30 starts out. Basically, Rita is playing it cool. She knows that they need her more than she really needs them. And since they're actually going to her for help, she realizes that she has the power in this dynamic. We cut to Lord Drakkon in Finster 5, and he's doing something to Saba. We see him forging a new blade onto Saba, and what he's doing is he's actually melted down the ninja steel, and he's making a new blade on Saba, and we'll see what that does later. And now we get back to the Rangers, and this is actually one of my favorite pages in the entire issue. And because this is the happy feel-good page, this is where everyone's reuniting, we get to see Jen from Time Force, she meets up with Eric. And just to point out, the likeness to Eric is actually pretty spot on. My favorite comedic illustration is actually on this page where Magna Defender and Phantom Ranger are sitting on a couch, and he says, "So you're kind of a helmet-on kind of guy, huh?" We see at the bottom of this page that Grace asks Ranger Slayer if she wants to go say hello to Trini, and she says no. I'm sure it's very difficult for her. And her eyes are on the prize. They have a mission, and she's ready to go do it. Now, throughout this entire page, there's some omnipotent narration, and you don't know who's speaking yet until this page, where you find out that Jason is giving his Braveheart speech, is what I call it. Or Independence Day speech, Aragorn, Return of the King speech, you know what I mean. Jason is preparing all of the Power Rangers from different times and different dimensions for the battle against Lord Drakkon and his sentries. And here is the page that I think made the entire issue. For anyone who is a Power Rangers fan, you know the relationship between Tommy and Kimberly. Okay, I'm just gonna say that right up front. From Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and the Zyuranger footage, we know that 3 different Rangers were able to don the Dragon Shield. The Green Ranger, the Red Ranger, and the Black Ranger. And we know that in the Zyuranger footage, when Barai actually dies and gives Geki, his brother, his shield, it's an emotional scene. In Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, when Tommy gives the Dragon Shield over to Jason, it's emotional, but at least Tommy's not dying. In the comic book, Tommy dies. So it is a very emotional event in the comic. They show the Rangers grieving. You even see Jason crying when he gets the shield, obviously, because there's guilt. Everyone feels guilty that they weren't able to save Tommy. So now imagine, after everything that happened ever since, being given the weapon of your love, wearing his armor, and piloting his Zord. And the illustration of the shield transferring to Kimberly and the hug that follows was, I have to say, it was emotional for me. So now, let's actually get into the battle. Jason is done giving his pep talk, his speech. Everyone teleports to Drakkon's world, where they notice his forces have grown substantially. And this is a pretty interesting illustration of his forces because we've never seen some of this armor. Like, check out Gold Dino Charge right now. He's got that huge shield. He's definitely more of a defense guy. And then on both sides of the Red Sentry, you see this Rhino Ranger, this Jungle Fury Rhino Ranger Sentry that has these gigantic things on his arms. I have a feeling he's more of an offensive Ranger. Or Ranger Sentry, I should say. And then, are we about to have a kiss? No, of course not. The sentries have to come and ruin the moment. Jason's right out in front. He's leading the charge. He's probably really mad because they interrupted his moment. We cut very quickly back to Zordon, Rita, and Commander Kruger, and they're setting up so that they can destroy Drakkon. We go back to the battle, and things are looking pretty good for our protagonist, but then Drakkon shows up. And the first person that he attacks is Levi, poor Levi, and he's using his new version of Saba that has the melted ninja steel, and what that Saba does, you guessed it, it takes Ranger's powers away. So now he doesn't need the dragon cannons anymore, he can use his new version of Saba. Things are looking pretty dire for our Ranger friends, and then bam, goodbye Dragon Zord in battle mode. I don't know what happens to Dragon Zord in battle mode after this illustration because I don't think we see it again for the rest of the issue. Drakkon seems to be doing a good job holding off multitudes of Rangers at the same time until we receive an Easter egg type of attack. In Zyuranger and Power Rangers, there are corresponding episodes where the Green Ranger gives the Dragon Dagger to the Pink Ranger, and she uses it with her bow and arrow. And that's exactly what Kimberly does on this page to score a shot on Drakkon. I think it's the first time he's been hit in the battle at all. And so from here, he is weakened. And at first, I thought that he was weakened by the dagger. But what he was actually weakened by is what Zordon, Kruger, and Rita have been doing this whole time. He gets teleported back to his throne room, you know, where he sits on his stone throne. And this is where we find out that Rita has created a new candle that is weakening his abilities. Just like the green candle that the Rangers tried to collect originally to save Tommy's green powers. Rita, as evil as she is, goes against the plan that she originally created with Zordon and Commander Kruger and tries to destroy Drakkon right on the spot. But she is interrupted by Finster 5. And I love when he says, well now, I've been waiting to do that for a long time. So the next thing that happens is surprising, but not surprising knowing Drakkon. So basically what happens is, he asks Finster 5 to take him to the Morphers because he feels himself being pulled away from the grid because he's weakening. Finster 5, who cares about Drakkon, is afraid that it will destroy him. So since he goes against the wishes of what Drakkon asks him to do, Drakkon breaks his neck. So it's surprising because they are good friends, but it's not surprising because Drakkon is evil. So then the issue ends with Drakkon in his weakened state, in the room where all the Morphers are hooked up so that he could steal their powers, and then he hits this button which seems to emit this light, and we see the battle is still raging on, but then the light just engulfs him, and that's the end of the issue. So I do want to mention that I do believe that this is one of the better issues. It didn't seem like a filler issue. I think a lot of stuff happened in this issue, especially when Kimberly receives Tommy's armor and his dragon dagger. And Drakkon is now one step closer to getting to where he wants to be with all the Morphers. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it for issue 30 of Shattered Grid. I thought this was supposed to be the last issue, but the story continues. So don't forget to subscribe and make sure to look out for my next video where I talk about Shattered Grid issue 1. And I'm just telling you right now, I have a lot of opinions of the result of everything that happened, so that is going to be an interesting video because I'm actually going to film it a little bit differently. It's not going to be a play-by-play, it's more going to be my reaction to the story as a whole. So like I say, at the end of all of my videos, if you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you'd like to, if you want to keep up with everything that I'm doing, you could also follow me on social media, which is going to be here. And until next time, everyone, may the power protect you.